Terry, all I have seen scrawled at the bottom of news articles this week is, why should I bother working? Tell us, what do you think about this budget?
Well, actually, I think you summed it up pretty well in your introduction, to be honest with you. I mean, yes, if you actually aren't on welfare, if you don't have young children, if you don't need childcare, if you don't go have job seeker benefits, there's nothing really in it for you. It is well, look, I think it's a political budget. It's a budget that's designed to meet Labor's election promises, election commitments, but it's also saying to Labor's natural constituency, including welfare dependents, including struggling families, including, especially, I think it's union-based, because one of the things that Jim Chalmers made a lot about in his budget speech was the fact that real wages are going up at a good rate. And when you look at that, I mean, he's saying that on the one hand, he's handing out billions here and billions there and hundreds of millions over there and squillions somewhere else, but still claiming that this year is going to be a minor surplus, and he's claiming credit for that, even though the previous government probably could say, and Peter Dutton will say, I'm sure, given every chance he has, that the Morrison-Frydenberg government actually set things up. But beyond that, I think he's basically saying that you can have your cake and eat it too. It's a hey big spender budget, but it's not going to be inflationary.
But
they're throwing money left, right and centre, and they want real wages to go up, so they want people to be paid more, and they're actually helping fund quite a few people, particularly in the aged care sector, to be paid more. But no, it's not going to be inflationary. No. If interest rates go up, blame Philip Lowe at the Reserve Bank. Don't blame me. Don't blame Mr. Albanese, is what the Treasurer is saying.
But surely, Terry, that if you're going to start handing out money to cover some people's power bills, although I might add, this is not the election promise that we were given about our power bills. That one's been deleted off their website. That doesn't actually do anything to fix the power prices long term, does it? Because this is a supply problem, not a pricing problem.
Well, when you actually provide a subsidy like that and the providers know there's a subsidy like that, then they will actually price according to the availability of that subsidy. I mean, that's been found in other areas where governments intervened in the market before. I remember back in the 1990s when the Howard government introduced private health insurance incentives. Funnily enough, the weekend after the budget, all the health funds started raising their premiums by roughly what they were going to get from that subsidy. So, what goes around comes around. It churns. It really does. And some people in the marketplace, whether they're energy operators or whoever it may be that's benefiting from subsidies, and that would include the childcare sector, are going to actually pocket the cash. They're actually going to profit take from it. And I think that's an economic mistake, actually, rather than a political one. I think the politics of this budget are actually quite smart on the government's part, because as I said before, it is going to looking after their own in a way that they can say that they've kept their broad commitments at the election. But beyond that, I think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and I think real economic experts like our friend Judith Sloan, who writes for us every week, they can tell us more about it. But my sense is that it's a pretty slick document in the sense that it's hard for the opposition to push back against some of it, particularly around the cost of living stuff. But also, the battle of the $4.2 billion surplus in 2022-23 that the government is taking crowing credit for. Peter Dutton and Angus Taylor, the Shadow Treasurer, are going to try and say, no, it's ours. It's ours. So we're going to see this ding-dong going over, this drop in the bucket while these billions and squillions get shoveled out the door.